Please be advised that everything in my video is purely for entertainment purposes. These are purely my thoughts and opinions and are subjective. I must advise you to please do your own research. All media used is found on the public domain and are fair use and fair dealings.
Hey guys, hope you're all doing okay. Sorry, I've been a little bit quiet these last couple of weeks. I've not been, pumping out my normal sort of, I suppose, the number of films that I normally do or videos. Mainly it's just been because there's been so much stuff going on in the news and that. I've literally done a blackout. I've been working on other little projects. I've started learning Italian on Duolingo. That's interesting. I'm actually absolutely terrible. That's probably going to be as terrible as I am at English because I can't pronounce my own language. So I did a bit of a breakout this weekend. I did a breakout with my friend Beck. We decided just randomly, we were bored, we were tired. Obviously they're easing the restrictions on lockdown and we ended up on a bus which was empty. We did the whole thing, sort of with the mask and the gloves, and we were careful, but it was pretty much both of us on a bus, and we travelled for a whole hour and 20 minutes, and we went to Brighton. It was a bit of a rebel thing to do, but we've been locked up for like 3 months, and we just thought, no, let's do it. Let's go to Brighton. It's a seaside town, for those of you that don't know, and I'm sitting there, and we started noticing that people were walking past with placards, huge placards of Black Lives Matters. And I thought, oh, crap. Didn't know about it, but we ended up, we saw it all. There were thousands of people, though, so I do not understand how anyone can say about this lockdown anymore. There were so many thousands of people there. Few wearing masks, but otherwise, and it was a lot. Myself and Beck, she's got a husband that has asthma, so she definitely, we stayed away from the crowds. We kept up with the 2, 3, 4, 5 meter distancing where you could, and yeah, it was very, very peaceful though, which, to be fair, it was kind of nice to see, because all I've seen is negativity in the newspapers and violence and people fighting, and it's been awful. Anyway, that's enough about that, because I know some people get really upset with me talking about anything other than royals. So royals, let's get on to the royals. Let's get on to something that really irks me. We have one of the most ridiculous headlines that I think that I've ever seen, and there have been a lot when it comes to the royal family, especially since Meghan's arrival. I personally, as a newspaper editor, would be embarrassed to release this, but they did. And the headline was, William, Charlotte and George pay tribute to Meghan and Harry. They pay tribute to them. How did they do this, do you think? How do you think that they pay tribute to them? Well, Catherine released a picture of them doing food deliveries, but they had an umbrella. Yep. Here's a shot of it. This is what they basically paid homage to Harry and Meghan, because they were under an umbrella. They took inspiration from Harry and Meghan from an umbrella. How do you know they weren't paying tribute to Mary Poppins? What about Rihanna? She did a whole song about an umbrella. Here's Penelope Cruz. How about even the Queen herself, who's been noted to be under an umbrella, or Catherine? Is Catherine, every time we see the Queen and Catherine, oh my gosh, did Meghan invent the umbrella? This is the sort of clickbait articles that come out, and I don't know whether magazines and newspapers, I genuinely don't know this, whether they make them up, because I think, well, surely if it's completely made up, you stand the risk of being sued. But if it's released by that particular person's PR company or friends, sources, blah, 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 then they can kind of run with it. It is absolutely 100% clickbait, and it aggravates people. And I think, well, if this is genuinely their PR company that's releasing absolute tosh like this, they're not doing them any favours. Their friends or their sources that leak all these ridiculous, stupid stories that come out, they don't do Harry and Meghan any favours. One of the reasons why Harry and Meghan's reputation tanked as quickly as it did, because they became one of the most overexposed couples in the world. I've never seen so many stories. They do one thing and it's 20 bloody articles across every single newspaper, online, everything about them. Meghan was painted as a saint in so many of them, Harry as well, and every little storyline that comes out, even now, if it's something that pops up that's newsworthy for a minute, Meghan's done a statement, Harry's done a statement. They are so overexposed that people are just like, oh, go away, we've had enough. I just don't think their friends or PR company are working with them. I think they seem to be working against them. If they just basically kind of disappeared just a little bit, especially because they did this whole, we're leaving the royal family because we want privacy. I've never seen more of them in my life. It's back like when they were getting married and they were in the papers every day. So next up, it would seem that karma may have been served to one of Meghan's meddling friends. It would seem that one of Meghan's very close BFFs, best friends forever, for those of you that don't know that horrible term, Jessica has had her head above the parapet yet again, and it seems that she has really, really got her head up too high this time. We know that she was part of Meghan's Mean Girl clique. We know that they're basically, she was like, her and Meghan are like the plastics out of Mean Girls, if you haven't seen that film. But just basically, I think anything negative, there was all the links to stories coming out that were nasty about Catherine and rumours and various things spread, and it's Jessica's been linked to it, whether it's through Lainey Lou, Lainey Gossip, one of Meghan's other friends. There just always seems to be a link, and it always comes back to Jessica, to Soho House. And I very much think that Jessica has been part, and she even admitted it herself, how she supported Meghan's decision, or helped her actually get away with this, well, this coup that she did with Harry and leaving the royal family, but not before taking the titles. So Jessica threatened to sue a Sasha Exeter. She is a podcaster, she is a writer, she is what is known now as an influencer. I don't really understand what an influencer is, but it means lots of people follow her. She's a fashion, she talks about fashion a lot and stuff. I hadn't heard of her personally myself, but it's just because I don't read those sort of things. However, Jessica and her have basically crossed paths because Jessica, she's into fashion, and I guess Sasha has spoken out, and this is my understanding of the story. She turned around and said to her that, why haven't you used your platform? You've got a voice to speak out about everything that's going on with the Black Lives Matters. Especially the fact that we all know that Jessica has stuck her head up for Meghan, helped accuse the UK and the public of racism, supported racism. Here's an actual tweet that she, or an Instagram post that she did, talking about, you know, protecting her friends from it. But when it has come down to this huge movement that is affecting all over the world at the moment, Jessica has been remarkably silent. Now Sasha privately, well not privately, but she basically asked her, why haven't you used your platform? Well, Jessica went into meltdown mode, is the only way that I can call it. Now Jessica really got herself into some serious deep doo-doo here because of the way that she reacted. She threatened her. She went back to Sasha and told her that she's used all of her contacts in the industry, all of the people with advertising and everything, and basically threatened Sasha's career, saying that I'm more famous than you, I've got in touch with everyone that I know. And it's a way of basically saying, I'm gonna make sure that you go out of business. But she's just used it. Why on earth would you threaten to put a person out of business just because she said, why aren't you using your voice at the moment? You know, as I said, Jessica sticks her head up with anything to do with Meghan and the racism and toxicity of the royal family. Jessica, in so many words, said, I'm going to use who I am, all of my influence, everyone I know in the industry to make sure you never work again. It's like a scene out of a really nasty, bitchy film. But that's what I mean about the Mean Girls clique. There was no reason for her to react like that. Now, obviously, Sasha called her out on it. She put it out there and she turned around and said, this is the way that she's reacted to me, which has upset me and it's left me worried for my career. And Sasha has worked hard to build up basically the content that she's got, the blog that she's got. Jessica's married into money, she's come from money, she's very much linked in with the political family, you know, she's married to the ex-Canadian Prime Minister's son. She has got a lot of contacts, so no wonder Sasha was really concerned. So Sasha handled it really gracefully, but did, and rightly so, call her out on it. So Jessica apologised. But what she did in the background behind this apology, she then privately threatened to sue Sasha. So Jessica has threatened to destroy this woman's career that she's just built up herself over the years, and then threatened to sue her because she got caught out threatening to use her influences and her privileges and who she knows and her contacts. It's not what you know, it's who you know, to destroy her career. Yeah, she's gonna sue Sasha. This tells you everything about the mean girl mentality of Jessica, and the fact that this is the sort of friend that Meghan has. I believe that those two are both mean girls. Because of Jessica's behaviour, she got dropped from her morning TV daytime segment that she has to discuss some fashion, and she also had a Netflix, I don't know what you call them really, I can think of a word or two, but reality show. I think it's like Redo, where she helps people redo their weddings and such. As I said, it's not the sort of thing that I'd sort of watch, but she's lost it, so she really has been beaten down for this. Now Sasha fought back and spoke out about it, but it does make you think, how many other people has Jessica really bullied? And how many other times has she pushed people to do positive stories about Meghan? But Jessica, up until recently, was babysitting Archie when Meghan came over for her farewell tour, you know, the Megxit tour. She left Archie with Jessica, so they were obviously close enough to do that. Through Jessica, Meghan has had access to lots of people that she probably wouldn't have had before. Bearing in mind that Meghan, was a D or a Z-list actress, a unknown cable TV actress. She was not famous like she was. It was Harry that has made her famous. Much the same as Jessica, a lot of her popularity and fame has definitely been increased by her friendship with Meghan. I believe that Jessica introduced Meghan to people, especially in the Toronto set, Canada, the Trudeaus and stuff, that Meghan otherwise wouldn't have met. Jessica has always stuck up for Meghan whenever she can, whether it's through gossip magazines or she's publicly said it. She has stuck up for her best friend this entire time. So how does Meghan stick up for Jessica? Well, Meghan publicly, through other friends, sources, PR company Sunshine Sachs, no doubt, said that she, Meghan, was deeply hurt, because this whole story is about, you know, Meghan's feelings, of course, not, you know, not Sasha or Jessica. She's deeply hurt. She's mortified that she got dragged into it. I think she dragged herself into it by having this statement released through friends and sources. I mean, yeah, sure, the newspapers say Jessica, Meghan's friend, but Meghan herself, by doing this statement through friends, has put herself into the limelight. So she's deeply hurt, she's mortified, and to finish it off, to stick the final boot in, she will no longer be associated with her, and she has to do what she has to do in order to, wait for it, preserve her dignity and her reputation. So she's basically turned around and said to Jessica, "You've been markled, bye-bye." I think personally, and I'm no fan of either of them, as you know, but I think that is a very, very vicious, very spiteful thing to have said, to publicly have got out there about your so-called best friend that was babysitting your baby not that many months ago, to publicly, she's just lost her job, she's totally been vilified by the press, everyone's gone for her, she said she's sorry, whether you believe it or not, but she has totally been called out for it. She's lost her TV show, her husband Ben must be totally mortified, because this is going to have a knock-on effect to him. He also, the family name, the Maronis, I can't say it, the Maronis, I'm never going to do it. You know exactly who I mean, you guys say it for me. But, you know, this is a family that were quite well known, because Ben's dad was actually a previous Canadian Prime Minister. So Jessica is dragging a lot of people into the mud with her behaviour, but for Meghan to publicly just go, "You're on your own," wow. That just goes to show the depth and the level of the friendship. I think if Jessica truly thought that Meghan was a friend, I think she might have had a rude awakening. Meghan didn't have to say anything publicly at all. She could have said it behind the scenes. She didn't have to do it publicly, but there is one reason and one reason only why Meghan has said this publicly, and that is because of her new restyling. You know, Meghan the chameleon that likes to change herself, reinventing herself. Newspaper story came out that Harry and Meghan have now decided that they, you know, they're not going to concentrate so much more on the pandemic. They are now concentrating on all of their efforts to the BLM movement, Black Lives Matters, because what is happening now, Meghan is now relaunching herself as the royal, ex-royal princess of Black Lives Matter. She's going to be the one that changes it. She's already promoted herself as she understands she's a role model. Oh, don't even get me started on that one. But this is how she's going to relaunch herself now. To prove this point, because her friend has been caught up in a racism row, she is literally going to ditch her. I mean, any other normal person would try and back their friend up, maybe try and defend them a little bit, you know, maybe explain in fact, well, she did briefly in her statement before she said she was cutting off completely, but just say, "She is my friend, she's not a racist, she has handled this terribly, you know, I will be supporting her, blah blah blah." But she didn't. She has just literally gone publicly, "You're cut off." Because it's shown Meghan yet again that she has got no loyalty to anyone but herself. But then again, is this true? Is this just a PR stunt? Are we really going to see handbags at dawn? Because we know Jessica is one of the famous five, and I also imagine that Jessica is the one that knows where a hell of a lot of skeletons are buried. So what do you guys think? Do you think this is all just one big fake dramatic kind of thing? Meghan's got to show face because this is now what she's remodeling herself on, or do you think that this is really this is going to be pretty much a catfight of the century? Tell me what you think. I'll be back with you guys very soon. I'll be filming again tomorrow for the video to come out the next day. As you know, I still have laptop issues. I will be taking care of it, so I'll be back with you guys in the next 48 hours, so I will see you soon. Take care.
If you like my video, please remember to like and subscribe. Please, angry typists, you will be blocked, so save your fingers for time. If you would like to buy me a coffee, please go to my About page and click the link. Love, Taz.